Feel disrespected by your child? This one response changes it all. Written and published by Stoic Guardian. Introduction. The hidden wound of disrespect. You may not talk about it often, but you feel it. That subtle sting when your child rolls their eyes, ignores your request, or speaks with a tone that cuts deeper than they realize. It doesn't show on your face, but inside something hurts. You've given your love, your time, your energy. And yet, in certain moments, you feel invisible, dismissed, disrespected, and perhaps worse, unsure of what to do about it without becoming someone you don't want to be. You're not alone. Many parents carry this quiet pain. And in that ache is a question echoing within. How did we get here? This journey isn't about blame. It's about healing. It's about learning how one calm, intentional response can shift the emotional current between you and your child. This isn't about control. It's about connection. And in the pages ahead, we'll walk together through that healing path, gently and honestly. Chapter 1. The silent ache of being dismissed. Picture this. You're standing in the kitchen, asking your child to help out, maybe to turn off a screen or clean up. They barely acknowledge you. Maybe they mumble, maybe they sigh, or maybe they say nothing at all. That tiny moment, though seemingly small, creates a ripple inside you. Not because of the task, but because of what it feels like. Rejection, distance, a lack of regard. And it's not just this one time, it's the pattern. It builds quietly, like water filling a jar, unnoticed until it spills. That ache, the one you feel when your presence is overlooked, it's more than frustration, it's a cry for connection. You want to be seen. You want to be valued. And when your child doesn't reflect that back, it doesn't just bruise your ego, it touches something deeper, something raw, something human. We all want to matter, especially to those we love most. This feeling of dismissal, if left unacknowledged, begins to shift your energy. You might become more reactive, more controlling, more withdrawn. You start walking on emotional eggshells or raising your voice, not because you're a bad parent, but because you're hurting. And sometimes, when we don't know how to ask for emotional respect, we demand it through force. But force breeds fear, not respect. And you know that. You've seen it, you've felt the aftermath of those power struggles. So here's where we reframe. What if your child's disrespect isn't about your worth, but about their emotional immaturity? What if their behavior is a mirror, not a verdict? Mirrors don't judge, they simply reflect. And what's being reflected may be chaos, stress, or a cry for autonomy, not rejection. When you see it that way, you create space. Space to respond instead of react. Space to breathe. The first tool in healing this ache is presence. Simple, sacred presence. The next time you feel dismissed, pause. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Remind yourself, I am not invisible. I am valuable. Their behavior is not my identity. Let that mantra anchor you. Then, in that anchored state, respond with curiosity. Instead of, why are you always so rude? Try, hey, I noticed you didn't respond. What's going on? It's gentle, but it opens a door where respect can re-enter, not as a demand, but as an invitation. Every parent has felt that sting, but few pause long enough to heal it from the inside out. And that's what you're doing here. You're not just managing behavior, you're rebuilding the emotional bridge. And yes, it begins with you, not because it's your fault, but because your calm is the invitation for theirs. You are seen, you are heard, you are respected, even when it doesn't feel like it. Let today be the beginning of remembering that truth. Let this be your gentle affirmation. Mine not defined by their reaction. I choose calm. I choose connection. I lead with love. And that love is never lost. Chapter 2. When love feels one-sided, you love your child more than words can hold, more than they might ever fully know. But some days, when their eyes roll, when their tone sharpens, when they walk away mid-sentence, it stings deeper than you expected. It's not just the words, it's what they imply, that somehow your presence is disposable, your love invisible. And while you know they're still learning, still growing, still figuring out their own emotion, that doesn't erase the ache that grows in your chest after every cold response. You might find yourself questioning your worth, wondering if you failed somewhere. If maybe, just maybe, you're asking for too much by desiring kindness, or respect, or just a thank you. These moments pile up, like unspoken letters never sent, and suddenly the house feels heavy, the silence louder. You crave a shift, not for control but for connection. But here's the truth you often forget when you're hurt. Their disrespect isn't always personal. Sometimes it's pain wrapped in disguise. Sometimes it's their own overwhelm, looking for a place to land. And often, that place is you, because you are safe. You are their constant, their mirror, their anchor. Imagine a glass filled with muddy water. The more you shake it, the murkier it gets, but if you let it settle, clarity returns. That's what you can offer, not a reaction, but a presence. A space where storms can quiet, where instead of meeting their fire with fire, you meet it with stillness, with breath, with wisdom. You don't need their approval to validate your love. What you need is to anchor yourself, to remember that your energy is sacred, and how you respond can either feed the storm or calm the waves. So try this when things get tense. Pause. Just for a moment, feel the weight in your chest. Let yourself breathe it out slowly. Place your hand over your heart and ask gently, is this about me, or are they hurting too? That pause doesn't excuse disrespect, but it gives you power. It gives you perspective. It helps you respond from wisdom, not from the wound. You may not see it now, but your steady presence is teaching them your calm, your quiet strength. It becomes the blueprint they'll one day return to. Even if they push now, even if they pull away, your love is not unnoticed. It's just not yet understood. Keep showing up, not by fixing everything, but by being the space where love doesn't vanish in conflict, where grace exists alongside boundaries, where forgiveness meets firmness and silence becomes sanctuary. Affirm this gently to yourself. I am not here to absorb pain, but to transform it. My love is not a weakness. It is my greatest strength. Chapter 3. The mirror of emotion. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, not the kind that reflects your face, but one that reflects your inner world. Every interaction with your child becomes a moment in that mirror. Their laughter reflects your joy, their anger, your patience, their silence, sometimes, your forgotten wounds. What you see in them can often be a reflection of what you carry inside. Unhealed pain, unmet needs, buried fears. When your child disrespects you, it doesn't always come from defiance. Sometimes it's their way of saying, I don't know how to manage this feeling. They lash out, and you feel it, deeply. But here's the truth most don't speak aloud. Your emotional wounds from the past don't disappear when you become a parent. They wait. And often, they resurface through your child's behavior. Have you noticed? That certain tone they use brings back a memory, maybe of being dismissed, unheard, unloved. And in that moment, you're no longer just responding to your child, you're reacting to an old pain, one that never got the space to heal. But you can begin again. You can choose not to pass your pain forward, because this mirror, though confronting, is also your opportunity. It invites you to heal the parts of you that feel unseen, unloved, or disrespected, not by demanding different behavior from your child, but by nurturing compassion within yourself. Try this. The next time you feel triggered, step away, even if just mentally. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Say softly to yourself, "This feeling is old. This pain is familiar, but I don't need to carry it anymore." Let the breath carry it out. Let your inner mirror show you what needs love, not judgment. This is how you begin to heal, not by fixing your child's reaction, but by softening your own. By recognizing when your heart is crying out to be held, not by others, but by you. By choosing to respond with awareness instead of impulse, with reflection instead of retaliation. This doesn't mean you ignore disrespect. It means you understand it differently. You don't let it define your worth. You don't let it ignite old flame. You hold steady. You set boundaries with grace. And in doing so, you teach your child the power of emotional responsibility without ever raising your voice. The mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't punish either. It simply shows you what's ready to be healed. Let this be your affirmation now. Every emotion I feel is a message, not a mistake. I see myself clearly, and I choose healing. Chapter 4. When silence speaks louder than words. There comes a moment, maybe in the kitchen, or late at night, when your child walks past you without a glance. No hello, no warmth, just distance. And you feel it, like a quiet sting beneath the skin. Not because of the silence itself, but because of what it represents. Disconnection, rejection, a kind of emotional void where closeness used to live. This silence can be louder than yelling. It echoes with questions you don't dare say aloud. Did I fail them? Do they hate me? What did I do wrong? You may start to fill in the silence with assumptions, most of them painful. But here's what's true. Silence is not always disrespect. Sometimes it's a shield. Sometimes it's a signal that your child doesn't have the tools to express what they feel. When you feel hurt by the silence, it's easy to respond with more distance or with anger. But pause here, because silence is also a sacred space. A pause between the storms. A soft moment where healing can begin, if you choose not to rush past it. In that silence, you have power. The power to listen, not just react, to ask gently instead of demand, to be present without forcing connection. Try this. When your child retreats into silence, don't chase them with words. Don't pressure. Just be there. A calm presence, a safe place. Later, in a quiet moment, ask them softly, "I noticed you've been quiet. Is there something on your heart?" And if they don't answer, still be there. You are planting seeds of safety, not control. Remember, children, especially when they grow, need to pull away sometimes. It's part of becoming. It's part of discovering their own voice, and it's not always about you. But how you respond, that stays with them. That becomes a memory, a lesson, a signal of whether love is conditional or constant. Silence doesn't always need to be filled. Sometimes it just needs to be held with tenderness, with patience, with an open heart that says, even when you don't speak, I still see you. So breathe. Let go of the urge to fix the silence. Let go of the story that it means you've failed. You haven't. You're learning, growing, loving. Even when it hurts. Repeat this quietly in your heart. I am here. I am enough. Even in silence, love remains. Chapter 5. the mirror of your own wounds. There's a moment in every parent's journey when your child says something or doesn't say anything at all, and it hits a place inside you that aches far deeper than the moment deserves. Maybe they roll their eyes, maybe they shut their door, maybe they say, "You don't understand me," and suddenly, without warning, you feel 10 years old again, small, unseen, unimportant. This is the hidden weight we carry, not just the words of our children, but the echoes of our own childhood. Their tone becomes the tone we once feared. Their silence becomes the silence that once hurt us. Their rejection mirrors the places in us that never fully healed. And this is not weakness, it's human. You see, parenting is not just about raising a child, it's about facing the mirror. And sometimes what you see reflected back isn't just their behavior, it's your own unfinished story. Maybe you were raised to be quiet. Maybe love had conditions. Maybe emotions weren't safe in your home. So when your child expresses theirs, even messily, it can feel like a threat. Not because they're doing wrong, but because your inner child still aches for what you didn't get. This chapter is not about blame. It's about recognition, because when you recognize that your reaction is rooted in the past, you no longer have to carry that past into the present. You can pause, breathe, and choose differently. Try this small practice. When your child triggers a strong emotional reaction, instead of reacting immediately, whisper to yourself, "Whose voice is this reminding me of?" Then breathe into the space between your reaction and your response. That space, that breath, is where healing lives. When you tend to your own wounds, your child no longer has to carry their weight. They no longer have to heal what was never theirs. And in doing so, you begin to show up, not from your pain, but from your presence. Repeat gently with compassion, "I am healing. I am growing. My past does not define how I love." Chapter 6. Responding instead of reacting. The sacred pause. Imagine standing at the edge of a calm lake. The surface is still, silent. Then, a stone is thrown. Ripples stretch outward, disturbing the peace. This is how most conflict begins, not from malice but from impact. A word, a tone, a look. It enters your emotional waters and the ripples begin. Your nervous system tenses, your heart tightens, you react. But here's the secret. You don't have to. You have the power to pause, to hold space between the stone and the ripple, between your child's behavior and your response. That pause is where your strength lives. Not in control, but in clarity. Reactivity is fast, it's impulsive, it's primal. But response? Response is sacred. It is slow, conscious, loving. When your child says something that stings, your body might want to match their energy, to push back, defend, dominate, withdraw. But pause. Just pause. Feel your feet on the floor. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe in for 4 and out for 6. Feel the wave rise and soften. This moment, this sacred pause, allows you to choose presence over power, understanding over reaction. And in doing so, you shift the dynamic. You no longer meet fire with fire, you meet it with water, calm, cool, steady. Your child may still be caught in their storm, but your stillness becomes their anchor. The sacred pause doesn't mean you accept disrespect. It means you address it without losing yourself. You model what emotional maturity looks like, not through lectures, but through example. Over time, this becomes your legacy. Not perfection, but presence. Not control, but connection. Try this affirmation. In the space between my breath, I find my wisdom. I respond, not react. I choose peace. Chapter 7. healing your inner child to heal your relationship. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a small child inside you, curious, tender, sometimes afraid. This child holds the memories of your earliest wounds, the quiet hurts you may have forgotten but still carry beneath the surface. When your child disrespects you, it often echoes something deeper within, a shadow from your own past seeking light. This inner child speaks in feelings, frustration, loneliness, longing for acceptance. When you feel disrespected, it's not just your adult self reacting. It's that vulnerable part yearning for safety and love. Recognizing this is the first step toward transformation. Imagine your inner child as a fragile plant that needs gentle watering, not harsh words or judgment. Healing begins when you listen with compassion, when you soothe that little one with kindness. This doesn't mean excusing difficult behavior. It means nurturing the part of you that feels hurt. Try this visualization. See yourself holding that child's hand, offering warmth and understanding. You are the protector and the nurturer, the safe place where healing can grow. This is the wellspring from which patience and grace flow naturally into your relationship with your child. By healing your own wounds, you break the cycle of pain. You teach your child how to be seen, heard, and respected, because you've learned to do the same for yourself. Repeat this gentle affirmation. I am whole. I am healing. I meet myself and my child with love. Chapter 8. Cultivating calm in the chaos. Picture a stormy sea. Waves crashing, wind howling, chaos all around. This storm mirrors the moments when disrespect from your child feels overwhelming, pulling you into a whirlpool of frustration and hurt. But just as a lighthouse stands steady through the fiercest storms, you too can cultivate calm within the chaos. You might feel like reacting immediately, snapping back, raising your voice, or shutting down. But these reactions only fuel the storm. Instead, imagine yourself as that lighthouse, shining steady and strong, guiding both yourself and your child towards safety and understanding. The struggle is real. It's easy to feel lost when emotions run high and boundaries feel blurred. But within you lies a calm center, a place untouched by the storm. You can reach it through your breath, by slowing down and anchoring yourself in the present moment. Try this simple breath tool. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold gently for 4, and exhale fully for 6. Let each breath ground you deeper into calm, softening the edges of your frustration. This calm doesn't erase challenges, but it gives you space to respond with intention instead of reaction. It teaches your child that respect grows from patience and understanding, not from conflict. Gently remind yourself, in the eye of the storm, I find my peace. Chapter 9. The power of listening beyond words. Imagine standing in a quiet forest where the soft rustle of leaves holds stories unspoken. Listening deeply is much like tuning into that gentle whisper, hearing not just words but the emotions beneath them. When your child's words feel disrespectful, it's often pain or confusion trying to break through. You might feel hurt or dismissed when they speak sharply or ignore your feelings. Yet, beneath that surface is a yearning to be understood, to connect. The real struggle is not just the words they say, but the silence they carry inside. Think of your child's voice as a river, sometimes rushing wild, sometimes trickling soft. Your task is to listen not only to the roar, but to the current beneath. When you lean in with open heart and mind, you create a space where respect can grow naturally. Try this. Next time, pause and breathe before responding. Imagine your ears like a calm lake, reflecting everything without judgment. Ask yourself, what might they really need? What feelings are they struggling to express? This kind of listening transforms conflict into connection. It is a gift you give to your child and to yourself. Affirm gently, I hear you. even when your words are hard to understand. Chapter 10. Responding with calm confidence. Picture a lighthouse standing tall amid a restless sea, its steady light guiding ships safely through storms. When your child's behavior feels disrespectful, you are that lighthouse, a beacon of calm confidence in their swirling emotions. It's natural to want to react quickly, to match their intensity, but the power lies in your stillness. You might find yourself caught in a wave of frustration or hurt, wondering how to respond without escalating the tension. This is where calm confidence becomes your anchor. Like a deep breath that steadies a racing heart, your composed response offers safety, not just for your child, but for yourself. Imagine your words as gentle ripples that slow the storm, rather than crashing waves that fuel it. When you speak with calm assurance, you model respect and self-control, teaching your child a new way to communicate. You show them that emotions can be felt without being feared or punished. Try this. Before responding, take a slow breath and ground yourself. Feel your feet on the earth, your heart steady. Then speak softly but clearly, naming the feeling behind their behavior. I see you're upset, and I want to understand. This approach doesn't ignore the struggle, it honors it. It builds a bridge from conflict to connection. Repeat this affirmation quietly. I am calm. I am present. I am guiding with love. Chapter 11. Transforming conflict into connection. Imagine a river meeting rocks along its path. At first, the water crashes and churns, disturbed by the obstacles it encounters. But over time, the river learns to flow around the stones with grace, creating new channels, new paths of movement. Your relationship with your child can be just like that river, transforming conflict into connection through gentle persistence and understanding. When disrespect arises, it's easy to feel blocked, stuck in frustration or disappointment. But beneath that surface, there is an opportunity, a chance to deepen your bond, to discover what your child truly needs to feel heard and valued. Conflict becomes a doorway, not a wall. You may notice how your child's resistance or anger masks fears, insecurities, or unmet needs, currents running beneath the surface. By shifting your focus from the behavior to the emotion behind it, you open space for healing and growth. Try this practice. When a conflict arises, pause and ask yourself what your child's heart might be saying. Then respond with empathy. Even if their words or actions feel harsh, imagine your words as a soft current, flowing gently around the rocks instead of smashing into them. Breathe deeply together. Remind yourself softly, I choose connection over control. I listen with my heart. This is the path of transformation. From friction to flow, from resistance to relationship. Chapter 12. The power of presence. Picture a quiet forest at dawn. The stillness is profound, yet alive. Every leaf, every blade of grass holds space for the gentle light as it seeps through the trees. This stillness, this presence, is a powerful gift you can offer your child, especially in moments when you feel disrespected or distant. When your child's words sting or their actions hurt, your instinct may be to react quickly, to fix or correct, but in that urgency something vital can be missed. The simple power of being fully present without judgment or agenda. Being present means holding space for your child's feelings, even when they are difficult. It means listening deeply with soft eyes and an open heart, creating a refuge where your child can be seen and understood exactly as they are. This presence does not require you to have all the answers. Instead, it invites patience, compassion, and a calm steadiness. Like the forest that quietly supports every living thing within it. Try this. The next time you feel disrespected, take a slow breath. Ground yourself in your own calm. Then, Meet your child's gaze and listen, not just to their words, but to the emotion beneath them. Repeat to yourself, I am here. I am listening. I see you. This moment of presence plants seeds of trust and respect, even in the soil of conflict. Chapter 13. Transforming conflict into connection. Imagine two rivers meeting at a confluence, their waters mingling, sometimes turbulent, sometimes calm, but always creating something new together. In your relationship with your child, conflict can feel like those churning waters, rough and unsettling. Yet, within that turbulence lies the potential for deeper connection. When you feel disrespected, it's easy to pull away or respond with frustration, but what if you could see these moments as invitations? Opportunities to understand and be understood. Like rivers that don't fight their meeting, but instead flow together to form something stronger. Conflict often masks deeper feelings, fear, insecurity, or unmet needs. Your child's behavior might feel like a storm, but beneath it is a vulnerable heart reaching out, even if clumsily. To transform this, pause and breathe deeply. Visualize the rivers calming, blending peacefully. Use this pause to ask yourself, what might my child be really feeling? Then gently acknowledge those feelings aloud. I hear your frustration. It seems like you're upset. This simple act shifts the energy. It's not about winning or losing. It's about connection. When you validate feelings, you create a bridge where respect can grow. End with this affirmation. Even in storms, we can find calm together. Chapter 14. The power of listening without judgment. Imagine standing in a quiet forest, surrounded by tall trees whose leaves whisper softly in the breeze. Each leaf carries a story, a voice waiting to be heard. In your relationship with your child, listening deeply, without judgment, is like tuning in to those gentle whispers. It's a gift you can give both to yourself and your child. When feelings of disrespect arise, the instinct might be to defend or correct. But in those moments, your child is often trying to express something they can't fully put into words. Listening without judgment invites you to step into their world with an open heart and mind, allowing their emotions to be seen and felt without fear. This kind of listening is like a still lake, reflecting back exactly what is shared without distortion or interruption. You don't have to fix or solve. Your presence alone can soothe restless hearts and create safety. Practice this by taking a few deep breaths before responding. Let your child speak freely. Notice your own reactions, but let them drift by like leaves on a stream. This pause creates space for understanding, dissolving tension gently. Chapter 15. Cultivating lasting respect and connection. Picture a garden where every seed of respect you plant grows into a strong, vibrant flower. This garden is your relationship with your child, a living space that thrives with care, patience, and intention. Cultivating lasting respect is not about demanding it, but about nurturing it gently. Like sunlight and water nurture tender blooms. Respect blossoms when you consistently show love, understanding, and clear boundaries. It's the quiet rhythm of your daily actions, your calm voice, your willingness to listen, your steady presence. That builds this foundation. Even when challenges arise, this garden remains alive because it's rooted deeply in trust. Sometimes you might feel worn or unsure. That is natural. Growth takes time. Like a river carving through stone, your persistent kindness and integrity shape your child's heart. Remember, respect is a two-way street. It grows both ways when you give it freely and receive it openly. Try this practice each day. Find a moment to acknowledge your child's effort, their feelings, and their presence. Celebrate small victories and approach setbacks with gentle encouragement. Close with this affirmation: respect flows between us, creating a bond that lasts. In this way, your relationship becomes a sanctuary, peaceful, resilient, and filled with love. Chapter 16. Your voice still matters. Imagine standing in a quiet forest, surrounded by tall trees that sway gently with the breeze. Your voice, soft but steady, echoes through the stillness, a small yet powerful ripple in a vast, calm lake. Even when the world around you feels noisy or dismissive, your voice holds meaning. It matters. Sometimes, when your child's behavior feels like a storm of disrespect, you might wonder if your voice still reaches them. You may feel unheard, invisible, or powerless, like a whisper lost in a thunderstorm. This feeling is heavy, and it settles deep inside your heart. But what if this moment is not about shouting louder, but about listening differently? Your voice, filled with calm intention, has the power to bridge distance. It can transform resistance into curiosity, frustration into understanding. To find this calm voice, begin with a deep breath. Feel your chest rise and fall, like gentle waves on a peaceful shore. With each breath, remind yourself, my voice matters, not because it's loud, but because it is true. When you speak from this place, you are planting seeds of connection. Even if the storm outside rages on, your voice remains an anchor. Steady, real, and healing. Repeat gently, my voice matters, I am here, I am heard. Chapter 17. The Mirror of Childhood Behavior. Picture a still lake at dawn. Its surface so smooth, it perfectly reflects the sky above. The trees, the clouds, even your own face, all mirrored with clarity. Now imagine your child's behavior as this lake, quietly reflecting what is happening beneath the surface of their young heart and mind. When your child acts out, refuses to listen, or seems disrespectful, it's often a mirror, not of rebellion, but of feelings they cannot yet fully express. Their actions show you what's stirring inside them: confusion, fear, hurt, or even a longing for attention and safety. It's easy to take their behavior personally, to see it as a direct challenge to your authority or love. But like the lake, their actions are reflections, signals inviting you to look deeper beneath the surface. In this moment, you have a choice. You can react to the surface ripples with frustration, or you can pause and see the reflection for what it is: a call for understanding. Try this. The next time you feel triggered by your child's behavior, pause and breathe deeply. Imagine you are gazing into that still lake. Ask yourself, what is this behavior reflecting back to me? This shift from reaction to reflection and healing. Your child's behavior is not the storm itself, but the sign of weather inside their soul. Remember gently, I see you, I understand you, we are connected. Chapter 18. Healing begins with understanding. Imagine walking into a quiet garden after a rainstorm. The earth is soft, the air fresh, and everything feels ready to grow again. Healing, like that garden, begins when you first understand the roots beneath what you see. When your child acts out or seems distant, it's easy to focus only on their actions. But true healing starts with understanding the emotions and experiences beneath those actions. What fears, worries, or unmet needs are they carrying? What unseen wounds might be shaping their behavior? You may feel overwhelmed by moments of conflict or disrespect, yet beneath those feelings lies an opportunity, a chance to step into your child's world with gentle curiosity rather than judgment. Picture their emotions as a hidden garden, waiting for your kindness and attention to nurture it back to health. When you pause and ask yourself, what is my child feeling right now? You begin to see beyond the surface. This understanding doesn't mean excusing hurtful behavior. Instead, it opens a space where empathy can grow. It allows you to respond from a place of calm rather than frustration. Try this practice. When tension rises, take a slow breath and silently say, "I want to understand you." Let this intention guide your words and actions. Healing begins not with punishment, but with presence. With understanding, you plant seeds of trust that will blossom over time. Remember, softly, in understanding we find healing. Chapter 19. The power of calm over reaction. Picture a stormy sea, waves crashing fiercely, wind howling, chaos all around. Now imagine standing on a quiet shore, watching that storm with steady eyes and a calm heart. Your calmness becomes a lighthouse, a guiding light amid the turmoil. When your child's behavior feels like a storm, disrespect, anger, or defiance, it can be tempting to react in kind. But your reaction is the moment where everything shifts. Reacting in anger only feeds the storm, making waves taller, emotions rougher. But choosing calm creates space for peace to settle. This power of calm is not about suppressing your feelings or ignoring the challenge. It's about choosing how you respond, even when inside you feel shaken. It's like the deep breath before a wave breaks, a pause that holds strength and presence. Try this. When you feel triggered, pause and take 3 deep, grounding breaths. Feel your feet on the ground, your body steady, your mind quiet. This simple act rewires your response from reactive to reflective. Calmness invites connection. It softens defenses, opens hearts, and models the emotional regulation you want your child to learn. Remember gently, my calm is my power, and through it, healing flows. Chapter 20. From command to connection. Imagine a bridge stretching between 2 cliffs, steady and strong, inviting safe passage across a deep, swirling river below. This bridge is the connection between you and your child, a path that carries understanding, trust, and respect. But when commands and demands replace connection, the bridge weakens, leaving gaps where distance and misunderstanding grow. In moments when you feel disrespected, it's natural to tighten control, to give orders, to regain balance. Yet, commands often build walls instead of bridges. Your child may hear authority but miss the love beneath it. Connection requires something different, an invitation, a willingness to meet them where they are, even in difficult moments. Shift your focus from telling to listening. Notice their feelings behind the behavior, feelings of frustration, fear, or need that often hide beneath disrespect. When you respond with curiosity instead of command, you begin to rebuild the bridge. Try this practice. The next time your child acts out, pause and ask softly, "What are you feeling right now?" This simple question opens a door to empathy, making your child feel seen and heard. Connection transforms power struggles into shared understanding. It turns resistance into cooperation. Through connection, respect grows naturally, not forced. Gently remind yourself, I choose connection, and through it, love flows freely.